Jim Mockelson.
Jim Mockelson is my name, and Ken Woodbine, and I'd like to address agenda item number 23. I'm bringing with me something called a statement of concern from the faith community. I'm a pastor at Trinity Lutheran Church. Wendy Abrahamson, who is the rector at St. John's Episcopal Church, is here with me. And there's other pastors in the room, Paul Nelson from St. James Lutheran Church. Some of the pastors got together last week and decided that it would be good to have some kind of a response from the faith community. It's not a statement from the ministerial association per se, but we gave people in our congregations the opportunity to sign a statement if they would like. And let me read that statement to you. As part of the Mason City faith community, we, the undersigned, oppose the idea of allowing a gentleman's club or adult cabaret in downtown Mason City. Among the variety of reasons for our opposition, the following are a few. We believe such an establishment would exploit women for the gratification and entertainment of men. We believe such an establishment would be harmful and degrading to the reputation of the city. And in our opinion, such an establishment would be morally objectionable. 12 congregations gathered signatures, brought them to me. I have 37 pages worth of signatures here. I'd just like to read the names of the churches that responded: Trinity Lutheran, St. James Lutheran, Our Savior's Lutheran, St. John's Episcopal, Temple Baptist, First Methodist, Wesley Methodist, Grace Methodist, Rolling Acres Christian Reformed, First Presbyterian, First Covenant, Christian Fellowship. There's over 800 signatures on here, gathered in a very short time, and I simply want to hand those in, and I don't think there's anything else I need to say.
Thanks, Mockelson. You can handle this executive clerk here. Anybody else?
Good evening. My name is Brad Barber, and I live at 406 North Shore Drive in Clear Lake, Iowa, but I also have a business in town called Cabin Coffee on the east side of town. And Greg, just a few minutes ago, was speaking about, and I think one of the council members was asking what kind of value Greg brings to the community. Well, one thing they're doing, and I don't know if you guys all know about this or not, but they're producing a video. They produced that at our Cabin Coffee about a month ago. And in that video, what they're trying to do is go out to different areas, actually internationally, to try and drive businesses and attract businesses to North Iowa. And one of the questions I would have for each and every one of the council members here is, do you think that a strip club would be in that video? I have several questions for you all tonight, but do you think that would be an appropriate part of that video to attract quality businesses to our area? I don't think any of you would say yes. It's not right. The character of this community, if we want to build this community and drive business in this community, we absolutely, unequivocally cannot have that kind of business into town. Would you go to the school board, I believe the superintendent of schools is here tonight, and would you tell her in front of her board that, yeah, I think it's okay to have a strip club here? Would you tell Mike, our head of police department here, that, you know what, it's okay? You know what, we want the police department to be proactive in the things that they do in this community. If you decide to put a strip club in here, that's going to make them even more reactive. And secondly, I don't think it's right for any of you all, or our staff, or the city attorney to spend any piece, a penny, to do something like this. It is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, I am appalled at that, and I think most of these citizens are here too. And I bet you if we were to ask them to stand up and say who's against it, I bet just about everybody in this room would stand up and be against it. We have bigger fish to fry here, folks, and it's certainly not having a strip club into town. We want to drive families here. We want to draw quality businesses into here, And that is not the proper way. And I'm going to ask you one last question. Do you guys believe in Jesus and God? Do you? If you do, would you sit there in front of him right now and tell him, you know what? I think it's okay for us to have a strip club in town. It's not right. Thank you.
Ms. Barber.
Thank you.
All right. Anybody else?
Hello, my name is Mary Byerhelm Huey. I actually live in rural Norris Springs, but I'm an advocate at the Crisis Intervention Service, which works with victims of sexual assault and domestic violence. I want to speak to the Gentlemen's Club issue. Not only does it do the obvious, exploit women, and that's 50% of our population, I'm not sure if that's the message you want to give the people of Mason City and our region. But just some statistics. Alcohol use is involved in at least 70% of sexual assaults and domestic violence. I'm not suggesting that sex trade businesses cause domestic violence or sexual assault, but if we make sex trade businesses part of the core of Mason City, what we're really saying is that, and we're telling this to our boys and girls, that abusing women is not only okay, but that it's valuable entertainment and it's lucrative business. I don't think that's what we want to tell our people. Thank you.
Ed Weininger.
Good evening, Ed Weininger, 630 South Mississippi, Mason City. I come before you tonight to clarify any misunderstanding there be regarding comments Councilman Weaver made last week regarding a gentleman's club and a building my wife and I owned in downtown Mason City that's currently unoccupied. Let me make it perfectly clear. There is absolutely no connection or no relevance. We have not been contacted by any party. We've not had any interest by any party, no discussions. There's been no thought about that in our building. Likewise, I'd say that there's been no discussions with Mr. Weaver regarding any business in our building. I don't mean to sound holier than thou, but my wife and I take our religious faith very seriously. We try to lead decent lives accordingly, and we would not even consider having a gentleman's club or like business that is against our beliefs and our morals in our building. We find Mr. Weaver's comments both irresponsible and reckless and potentially harmful to our reputation, and we'd ask Mr. Weaver to refrain from including us in any conversations regarding use of our building for a strip club, a gentleman's club, a cabaret, and the like. In fact, I would like Mr. Weaver, if he wants to mention me or my wife or my building in any regards, to talk to me ahead of time and get my approval, or at least get my understanding of what he's going to talk about.
Mayor, council members, my name is Wendy Abrahamson, and I'm the rector of St. John's Episcopal Church in Mason City. I live in Hampton, Iowa, but I'm speaking here as the rector of our congregation. I can only echo everything that has been said, but I think we have a broader issue that goes with this as well. Many of you probably already know, surprisingly, Iowa is one of the top states in the United States for human trafficking, runaways, sex trade, and prostitution. We wouldn't think this, but we have the gift of I-80. And I-80, the large truck stop, is actually, I believe, the third largest central place in the country for human trafficking. The sex industry draws from this. It draws on runaways, it draws on vulnerable people, it draws on kidnapped people. And it might seem like something that is insignificant and small to have this, even one little thing in our downtown area, but we're actually responsible for everyone, not just Mason City. Everyone in the entire creation is our responsibility. So anything that we do that contributes to these broader crime issues, the exploitation of runaways using their bodies, we have a responsibility for that. So the adult industry is just not one that we should be going near. Thank you.